What? Codependent, can't regret it. Where I had depending on it. Could've came in without craving. Been some anxious, genuine. And rewinding the plays. Fingering cassette tape as Bicon lay beats down. Make my frowns foreign currency. Finally exercise demons that didn't occur to me. Becoming free became a courtesy. I do it through music. Black women's liberation, co-counseling. It keeps me fluent to this recreational reckoning. Investigating heck of things, journalistic reflectioning on what gets the best of me or got it. Can't no more because I caught it. Capture all red flags, my sins absolve it. Ain't no more falling victim to old stress, and now I gotta keep abreast of my blessings. Check up on my chest and wait on it. No more holding breath when hiccup, don't wait on it. Cause I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a whisper. Because I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a strong black woman gene. Becoming unfamiliar like stranger things when I'm strengthening my boundaries and creating these beautiful internal harmonies and escaping star role of a runaway of the coldest. Oh no, I'm not a slave. Turn getaway to a getaway. Gotta give when I overtake, take back when I overgive. I don't wanna die, no I wanna live. I want for you what I cannot give, and no ego prosper. I found out I can't heal you, I can heal me, but enabling might kill you in the long run. Start race with a shotgun, finish line my funeral. Obituary, I hope you make it. I can't take you, I can't take it. I take patience like self, breathe with me. I don't take patience like who need kidney. Nah, I ain't kidding. Need to be with the kid in me. Couldn't even keep the kid in me. No shame and no blame, just claim responsibility. What it mean is great power, like every hour in the effort. Great, come to myself in from a place called self-central, so credential. I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a whisper. Because I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a whisper. Because I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a whisper. Because I got grace now. For what I wasn't proud, my head won't stay down. I love me resiliently and more loud. All I lost to find out gets drowned out and becomes a whisper.
Go through the fire first. You have to experience the full fall in order to come around to something like the victory of oneself. You skip responsibility when you use a substitute emotion like guilt, which is of no use to anyone. But if you feel the real thing, that is the door. And if you get through that, then you can forgive yourself. It's called grace.
Standing alone in the hallway, walking very slow through my own hideaway. It's bittersweet love that we read. We argue and fight, I can't get to sleep at night. And I said, baby, why you gotta play me with that sweet seduction? Go right into my own soul's destruction, yeah. Why you gotta play me with that that sweet seduction. Whoa, whoa. My life didn't come with the instructions. Come back with me just one more time. Now loving you forever will be my only crime, yeah. It's bittersweet love that stays in motion, girl. All of those nights we'd get so drunk by the ocean, and we talk about the world. Why you gotta play me with that sweet seduction? That sweet seduction. Move out into right on soul's destruction. Why you gotta play me with that sweet seduction, girl? Seduction. My life didn't come with instructions. Go! You were my whole world, caught in the sweet swirl. I can't help it, I'm not thinking about you now. Sometimes you got my mind all up on the spot. Sometimes you got my heart all up in a mess, especially when you wear your favorite red dress. Why you gotta play me with that sweet seduction? With that sweet seduction. Move out into right on soul's destruction, yeah. Why you gotta play me with that sweet seduction, girl? Seduction. My life didn't come with no instructions.
Just to say I'm a dope dealer. I'm in it to profit out of it. I don't want to get rich. I just want to provide for my family. I like doing it.
You can't a basketball uniform while they're not knowing people.
Right.
And really to sell it to people, you have to really like it and do it with your whole heart. You know, do it with your whole heart. People feel it. People can really tell when you just kind of like, fronting it and you're not really about what you say you're about.
People always frowning on what they don't do. But what I want to say, I need the whole world to know. So everybody lift their heads up high. Cause one day, folks, we all gonna die. We all got a story, at least one or two. I hope your story lands true on you. I gotta drop a game or else I don't speak. How else can I bring the world to their feet? Hey, yeah. Gotta lift the people, gotta lift the people. Hey, yeah. I just gotta lift the people, gotta lift the people. Hey,
That's what it is. Woke up this morning like it's time to get minds right. It's time to right my wrongs. It's time to live my life. Get it together real tight for me and my delight. So with the pit bulls right, I took a bite at life. Just trying to eat my slice, look, I deserve that right. It's with a pen padded mic, I'm the new Dolomite. Take your minds to new heights, my device. For advice, give it to you plain view, even if you lose sight. It's in the soul and what you feel, I'm saying. It's when the soul gets touched without the use of hands. In bird's eye view, this poetry emotion. This is for the cats who can't see but eyes wide open. I give it to them like I wish it was gave to me, but life taught me well in the streets. They made me eat. I give it to you like I wish it was gave to me, but life taught me well in the streets. They made me eat.
Yeah. I gotta lift the people, hey, yeah. I just gotta lift the people, hey,
That's what I'm here for, man. Street media, what is it? No matter what you say, I say what I mean to say. And got the self-discipline of a green beret. A self-made man who came from disarray. Who on the biggest stage put his life on display. Night stepping up the game like Bobby Flay. And got a message for what he say, raps Marvin Gaye. Trying to make up for past dates. I feed them game on their plates, but what I chef leave a bad taste. It's like that, man, they feel him like back pain. Cause most of them lost, chasing ghosts like Pac-Man. The net main, bring him back, man. Cause that man got the game like it's his last name. Ignorated for the streets. I speak and they listen. Got a wisdom when I speak like I seen it did it. Your boy quite extreme with it. And the accolades, even with him, still deem nigga.
Hey, yeah. I gotta lift the people, hey, yeah. I just gotta lift the people,
Real nigga.
Hey, shit. Right here, bro.
Real shit, my nigga.
That real shit, nigga.
Good as fuck, nigga.
Hey, hit this shit, nigga.
My uncle got locked in 97, came home in 2011. Most of my loved ones is ex-felons. My nigga split up on me, bro, we was getting high. He said he slipped, he may have to sit down and get some time. But that's the loved ones, so I told him if you need anything, just holler. And I'ma hold you down, you'll see it's gonna be alright. That's just a solid, I'm following the rules to the game. Plus if it was me, I know my nigga would do the same. You're funkin' with a few cats from my block that might need gunshots. Cause real niggas don't call the cops. I still adhere to the rules in which I was raised by. Get money, never switch up and stay fly. Not just your dress code, nigga, your mind stay. Never fictional what I spit, plus I rhyme great. Don't fuck with fairy tales that niggas make up. Roll top shelf shit, don't twist, don't shake up, nigga. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit.
Imagine the unimaginable. It's the incredible, unstoppable. Brody Locust back up in your stereo. Whoa, hot damn, back up on my bullshit. Master of disaster is the pastor in your pulpit. Talking this shit, I spit a loogie in your Wi-Fi. Crumbling his birthday cake, and these is hot times. Beer season, might as well call me battlegrounds. I was in the project buildings where they use them battle rounds. Embrace my soldiers with the random numbers through fingertips. With flip phones and triple roosters and unruliness. Stay away from sucker shit, stay away from dirty rats. Sat on that couch, got off pronouncing some of that soft fat. By the time I'm 22, shit I had a lot to lose. Big brother did a bit and when he got out, he said we gonna get rich, don't count me out. My heart is colder than a cooler. Thank God for the game that I learned from my big bruh, Judah.
Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel this. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. Mine say about my paper, I don't finna get that bag. Try to extort this and cash, but they finna get that bag. Still got niggas locked, but a lot of them finna be home. A lot of shit been changed, still a lot of them finna be home. New corn fresh out the bin, we still have paper, niggas been free so big, they wasn't making none. Track shoes, lace my nigga, running that 10K. If you can do that in a few, what would you do in 10 days? Get shit poppin', count paper in 2 days. So many ways to market yourself and get paid. Start your own over the line, grow your own strain, or pop with something brand new and innovate this whole game. Instead of hate, try to elevate a nigga brainwave frequency deeper. The way you trippin' really seeking change. The internet got y'all fucked up. I'm finna take it back to times when you had to out the trunk to make a stack. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel less. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit. Yeah. I don't expect no sucker niggas to feel less. No. Why? Cause only real niggas gon' feel some real shit.
They say sky's the limit. I feel like I'm on the moon with this one right here.
Yeah. On the wave, ride like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money, walking out the bank. You know the hustle, no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. Keep my pockets on full like an ATM. I'm the nigga they love to hate but wanna be him. I understand why they mad, I probably hate me too. I'm up one, you niggas broke, so I don't fuck with you. We ain't got nothing in common, so ain't no need to talk. I'm on the paper chase, trying to fill up the vault. Look, I got kids to feed, so ain't no time to stall. I'm in the field running plays like I'm Randy Moss, or maybe Marshall Falk. Either way, I'm in my zone, and anywhere I go, you know I hold my own. A young king, nigga, I'm sitting on the throne. Keep all the hating shit, that's all I don't condone. On the way, riding like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money, walking out the bank. You know the hustle, no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. Real nigga, solid like a brick wall. They said I wasn't gon' be shit, look at me now, dawg. Still independent, making moves like the majors, man. I stayed down and prayed up, I had a major plan. I took a couple losses, but had to bounce back. That's how it be sometimes when you fuck up the sack. Like a train that got derailed, I was off track. But the hustle in me wouldn't let me accept that. So I got back on my feet, 100 miles and running. They didn't believe in me, now they feel I owe them something. You niggas stop the front, you know I came from nothing. Got it out the mud, yeah, I was really hustling. On the way, riding like a surfboard. Bad chick on my side, something you can't afford. She looking like a bag of money, walking out the bank. You know the hustle, no limit, like we rep the tank. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us. We grind hard, wild, hustle. We getting money, man, you can't take nothing from us.
This right here is how I think the world should be. Everything that's wrong is turned to right. Everything that's dark is turned to light. That's why it's called the good news. Elephants sent back to Africa from all the zoos. The D-boy stops giving his mama the blues. The night creeping prostitute finally gets a clue. Riders get riders blocking out, become amused. Miracles performed, skeptics are made believers. You may be like Doubting Thomas, but you can't deceive us. Worldly things is worthless, love is worth more than gold. You need to get up to speed with what your future holds. Get better and stronger and grow and grow. Do what you know to be right and don't do what you're told. Get better and stronger and grow and grow. All you got is right now, so you need to be bold. The followers make a path to lead their own way. The speakers wouldn't listen to what you have to say. Illness gets a cure, insomniacs get sleep. But this is just the beginning, the story gets deeper. The racist, the sexist, the biased, homophobic get compassion and they start to show it, but they know it. The keepers of themselves is now their brother's keeper. But this is just the beginning, the story gets deeper, deeper. The good news. This is just the beginning, the story gets Writers get writers block and I become a muse. Miracles perform, skeptics are made believers. You may be like Doubting Thomas, but you can't deceive us. Worldly things is worthless, love is worth more than gold. You need to get up to speed with what your future holds. Just get better and stronger and grow and grow. Do what you know to be right and don't do what you're told. Get better and stronger and grow and grow. All you got is right now, so you need to be bold. The followers make a path to lead their own way. The speakers will then listen to what you have to say. Illness gets a cure, insomniacs get sleep, but this is just the beginning. The story gets deeper. The racist, the sexist, the biased, homophobic get compassion and they start to show it, but they know it. The keepers of themselves is now their brother's keeper. But this is just the beginning. The story gets deeper, deeper. The good news. This is just the beginning. The story gets deeper, deeper. The good news. This is just the beginning. The story gets deeper, deeper. It gets deep. Everybody knows that there's levels to this. You know, everybody is not operating on the same wavelength, but if we could all come together and find a common ground, the world could really look like that. Everything that's wrong could be right. Everything that's fucked up in this world could be turned on its back.
Hey ladies, it's a holiday. March 14th, second blowjob day. On Valentine's Day, we gave you ladies a break. Now it's March 14th, second blowjob day. Hey ladies, it's a holiday. March 14th, second blowjob day. On Valentine's Day, we gave you ladies a break. Now it's March 14th, second blowjob day. March 14th is a calendar day when real men celebrate second blowjob day. Because when we give you head on during the day and kill a steak on the grill, second blowjob day. Hey ladies, it's a holiday. Wake up your man with your mouth, second blowjob day. Give me a sloppy BJ just to start the day. I like them both well, second blowjob day. Hey, everybody, it's a holiday. Y'all go with T-bone, second blowjob day. Spinners and quitters, so the ladies got a scholar today. You could begin the second blowjob day. Hey ladies, it's a holiday. March 14th, second blowjob day. On Valentine's Day, we gave you ladies a break. Now it's March 14th, second blowjob day. Hey ladies, it's a holiday. March 14th, second blowjob day. On Valentine's Day, we gave you ladies a break. Now it's March 14th, second blowjob day. Hey.
Perfect. Yeah. 27 ink.
Baby.
Yeah. If I shine, then my people too. Once you get on, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm on my own. Big Meech. If it ain't about biz, don't speak. If I shine, then my people too. Once you get on, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm on my own. Big Meech. If it ain't about biz, don't speak. Yeah. Always on the road. I'm in the league. No time for the blase. I got mouths to feed. Read between the lines. You'll find this guy serious. Now get tapped in. And I got you a little curious. Here it is. Live and direct. No Casey. Louis V around my neck. Get the footwork. Turn that respect. First shit, get the money. Shit, y'all know the rest. It's in the eye of the beholder. Nobody wanted to kick in. Put the whole thing on my shoulder. Road, I'm a rider. Started at the bottom, now we on fire. If I shine, then my people too. Once you get on, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm on my own. Big Meech. If it ain't about biz, don't speak. If I shine, then my people too. Once you get on, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm on my own. Big Meech. If it ain't about biz, don't speak. Yeah, yeah.
Big dog, that's like Lil D. Feed the whole fam like Big Meech. Put in leg work, now we run the streets. If it ain't about business, nigga, don't speak. Put the play in motion, rolling like a locomotive. Made a living, turning nickels into dimes on the boat. Bullshit, move like over in the O with the block. How these bitches love something. Put the right pieces in position. Make subtract to zero if you make a good addition. Niggas take the bait, but the fans still fishing. Back in the magician to these niggas, they be tricking. Take the past, let's travel till they block it off. I never did it this big, nigga, knock it off. Ran through the whole team, throw the walk it off. Honcho, call shots, what you talking about? Come on, nigga. Got the right one, I'm the wrong little nigga. I got a big stack, my reach long, little nigga. Try me, you won't make it home, little nigga. When I shine, they shine, we shine together. Lay the foundation so we shine forever. Press on the button, this heat and this leather. Inside of the foreign foot pushing the pedal. I'm paving the way to get out of the ghetto. Michael Archangel, I fight with the devil. Digging this grave, heaven gave me the shovel. You think that I'm weak, had to turn up a level. I'll never be beat, I'm a king in these streets. I relax like a Mac having sex on the beach. Never surrender, never retreat. People to feed and they all gotta eat, free to God.
You get some Mendo Skunk Dope Funk.
There you go.
Hey. Yeah.
Skunk funk?
You got some fire? As I do, roll one up. Light it. Introducing my homies, the Skunk Funk crew. We got Cuban B, lacing them hip-hopping, cultivational rhymes, elevating your mind. We got Max G, pulling the strings, always making that guitar scream. You know we got Witty, knocking on the drums, breaking it down real funky. Last up to back, Bobo, dabbing on the bass, giving them a taste of that skunk sound. Yo, I heard they got skunk funk on possession for sale. Cause the music's so dope, it gets weighed on a scale. Representing positive music and they rebel. Fight against the rollers who want us locked in a cell. Ska punk, rockin' dope, talking dank growers. Freedom fighting, funkin' it up, the skunk soldiers. Taking over, keeping it underground to the fullest. Music is the weapon, they shooting lyrical bullets. Skunk funk, my homies, always keeping it real funky. Cuban B, Bobo, Max G, Woody, Bleezy up in here, this whole team. Skunk Funk, possession for sale, possession for sale, possession for sale, that dope, possession for sale. Y'all ready to smoke? That's that Skunk Funk. Possession for sale.
Yeah. And that's Global History Radio, y'all. Anna, you in the building?
Sure am.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Everything's good. Yes. How's it going, Roselle?
Oh, it's going good. Good.
Yeah. We've had a pretty good week, everybody that's listening. I sent a message to our friend Verlania to see if she's got her Zoom together so she can come on. Possibly my friend Mario might be coming on. I'm gonna have to see. He is getting over surgery. He got over surgery, so he's doing good. Yeah, got his hip.
Nice. He was on the show before, right, Mario?
Yes, he's been on the show. Yeah. So wow, we got a lot going on this week, huh? Yes. Tomorrow night is Twitch Talk Live.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I realized it was so funny because I even messaged you at one point because I was like, okay, well, do we say spinning or whatever? So on the new events, I just put down DJ Rowe playing music from the 60s.
That's it. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, I was just kind of making it too complicated. So that will be fun. And yeah, I've been going through trying to find images that might work that show Bewitched with radios. I mean, with records, and I did not come up with anything. And I posted on the group for the people that just know a scary amount about Bewitched, and nobody responded. So I'm going to keep looking, because if we're going to be doing something on a Friday night, we really want people to know there's music.
Right.
Yes. And God damn. And then the benefit for Vallejo.
Yes, that's in what, September?
It's in October 15th.
Or October. Let me see.
Yeah. Did you confirm yet with Melinda?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Oh,
yeah, I told her. I said, I'm down. Yep, I got it down. October 15th.
Oh, good. Yeah. That'll be fun.
You know what I might do though in a couple of weeks, just to do it? I might call her again just to be sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked because she actually told me like the kind of music she wanted to hear and all this stuff. So
yeah, I see her all the time, so I can tell her too. I can just tell her.
Yeah, tell her.
Yeah, I'll tell her you're definitely on for it. I've been working on putting on the gala, so I'm really getting to do some cool stuff at the museum, going back and looking at artifacts. And I love clothes. I love vintage fashion, and they have clothes collection. So I was just having so much fun. I was going through there trying to find clothes to have on exhibit. But what's strange is that a lot of the clothes don't fit on the mannequins because they're too small. Mannequins are supposed to be small. So that's kind of strange. But then I realized that there's men's clothes too, which are not as interesting and fun, but that's a possibility. There's a whole section in museums. You do something called a sessioning, which is when you get something donated to the museum, you describe it and give it some sort of number so that it can be entered into the database or whatever, and so people can find it. And a sessioning is a lot of fun, but it's endless. So there's a lot of clothes in the museum collection that haven't been accessioned. So that means, to all intents and purposes, the museum doesn't have them. I mean, there's no record of them. Anybody trying to find out information wouldn't be able to find them. So there's a whole, I just keep looking and looking, because the first time I was in the clothes room, there's all this cool stuff. And then I found another room I didn't know anything about with more clothes. And then I found another room, because I was thinking, wow, there's not a lot of uniforms here, which is strange in a Navy town, but there's just a whole room for them. So there's a whole rack of uniforms that haven't been accessioned. And so what I need to do is find a book, or else, the internet doesn't work so well in the, the crevices of the museum, and go down there and start to figure out what the uniforms are, what the different badges mean, and all that. So yes, that's going to be a lot of work. And yeah, so the Vallejo Museum is haunted, and the director was telling me about it, and she's like, no, really, I mean, there's other people. The museum has even had like professional ghost hunters or whatever come out and look at them, because the building that the Vallejo Museum is in used to be City Hall, and the jail was there. So there's a whole section of the museum. It's not the public part. There's a whole section of like the back part that's called the jail. That's what it was. So it's believed that the ghost was a prisoner that hung himself in the jail. So, yeah.
So Anna, what you're telling me is you wouldn't spend the night inside the museum? You wouldn't do it?
Oh, I would. I'm not scared. Ghosts aren't scary. They can't hurt you.
So you say.
When have you ever heard of somebody being hurt by a ghost?
We don't know because usually most of them don't make it out.
Well, I guess so. But no, I'm not scared of ghosts. I think that, well, theoretically, I mean, the reason that somebody is a ghost, like, okay, and I just want to be real clear to people. I am not somebody that's really that into stuff like take stuff like this that seriously in the first place. But theoretically, okay, ghosts are on Earth because ghosts are sad. Ghosts are tormented. I mean, a ghost is stuck. A ghost hasn't been able to move on to the next plane of existence, if that's what you believe in, or go to heaven, if that's what you believe in, or just disintegrate, if that's so. I think that the idea, like, if I mean, I would love to meet this ghost and just try and like talk to, and just try and like, I don't know, ghosts are not at peace. That's why they haunt places. So yeah, so a lot of time, I mean, ghosts are people that would have died violent, traumatic deaths, stuff like that. So that's the theory. No, I'm going to suggest it. I think it would be really fun. I think it would be, I think they've had like ghost tours of the museum and stuff like that. So, but yeah, don't worry about it. That's not gonna, you're going to have, I mean, it'll be a little bit, you're going to have to go there and like do your whole sound check and everything.
So, yeah, because we're pretty much going to be in that one room, the auditorium, right?
The downstairs, not the room where we were before.
Oh, so they have another auditorium in there, or is it like a totally different type of room?
Yeah, it's big because I mean,
wow.
Okay. Yeah, there's going to be like, you'll be in the room where there's going to be tables, there's food and everything. So yeah, it's a whole big, I mean, the place up where we were before is actually the theater, and they're going to have videos playing there just on a loop, like old films playing there. So that's what's going to be happening in the theater. And then in the downstairs are going to be all the tables, and you'll be DJing in the downstairs.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. Another thing I'm working on is a punk show at Chris's club. So yeah, there's a group called the Homobiles, and I've known the lead singer forever. They were, well, you know, she was a dyke punk band, and just I had a lot of fun at those shows. And you know, when I was younger, and you know, I want them to come here, and I can still have a lot of fun. So there's the Homobiles, which is like an LGBT band, and then they play with another punk band called Middle Aged Queers. Don't miss. So I'm communicating with them about playing here in Vallejo, and I was like, well, maybe it should just be one of you guys, because this crowd, I don't even know if people are going to want to stick around for two bands. This is like an old crowd, but for the most part. But they said that they've been playing together and that it's fine. So yeah, we're figuring that out. But you know, just trying to do some different stuff. I just decided that, I mean, they're playing all over the place. I just decided that I wanted to see them, and I haven't gotten, you know, this means I can see them without needing to go anywhere.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a lot, I mean, Vallejo there is a major queer community in Vallejo. There really is. So Vallejo. Okay. Vallejo's crazy. We'll get right into the Vallejo news I've been trying to deal with. So, okay, what happened this week was the VPOA, the Vallejo Police Officers Union, issued a statement of no confidence in Chief Shawnee Williams, who's been there for 2 years, saying that he's made the community, that he has created a community crisis, which is just like, what? The community crisis is because of cops killing people. Okay, that's why the community is in crisis. And so the VPOA has basically protected the cop killers. None of them have been prosecuted. And under Chief Williams, the use of force has gone down 40%. Right after I think like just a couple months after Chief Williams came here, a young man was shot dead by a cop. But since then, there has not been cop killings. I mean, it's very sad that we're talking about how great it is that Vallejo has gone 2 years without a cop killing, but that's how it is here. So the chief of police isn't in the police officers union. So he is, and neither are his deputies. So there's tension between them. Like basically, if the chief, so that's why the chief can't just always like institute things he wants to do. He can't just fire people that he wants to fire because of the union. And it is the police officers unions are very strong, and they are invested in upholding how things have been and protecting one another. So they went ahead and issued this statement. And so last night, I started getting all these texts from the NAACP. There's like from a couple other NAACP members, because the NAACP membership has gotten so small that I'm like sort of included in like the inner workings. That's what happens if you keep going to stuff. That's what happens. So it's believed that he's the first Black police chief that Vallejo has ever had, and so it's believed by many people that they want to push him out. So there were all these texts last night and phone calls today from people trying to figure out what to do, and that the NAACP needs to issue a statement in support of the chief. The city manager issued a statement in support of the chief, which I thought was really wishy-washy. I think the point, if you're going to support somebody, you should be really emphatic about it. I mean, what's the point otherwise? I mean, they hired this guy, and he's trying to make changes. And yeah, I mean, and I've met him a couple times. I mean, I think he's a good person. I mean, however, this is not an issue I'm deeply involved in or know a lot about. And so people shouldn't, basically, but people in Vallejo that are really fighting the cops think he's better than what they've had before. Like there was people going like, oh, Chief Williams is doing okay. And I was like, well, damn. I mean, that's, for some of the people saying that's like equivalent of like a gold medal, considering the source. So the Vallejo Police Officers Association was having a press conference today that they did not allow press into. They didn't allow the local paper in, and then they didn't in the local print newspaper. They went down there and weren't allowed in. They didn't allow one of the city council members in who tried to go. So what kind of fucking press conference is that? So, stay tuned, Vallejo. And Okay, so I decided to look up the police officer's Bill of Rights because that is the problem. The police, I mean, it's a state standard and a national standard. That's the police officer's Bill of Rights is why it's so hard to prosecute cops. And the theoretical basis for it is that there are jobs where there's in jobs where lives are at stake. You want to have protection for people that are working. And then the simplest, when you need to like compare it to doctors. Okay. Doctors have, if somebody dies on an operating table, the doctor didn't break the law, unless you can go after a doctor for malpractice if you think they screwed up. But that's about all you can do. So they claim that policing is like that, okay, well, this is a profession where people are going to die, and we want protection for, people that are involved in it. So I was looking at what it says, and the quote is, "It's intended to protect American law enforcement personnel." This is what this says. I couldn't find. It's intended to protect American law enforcement personnel from investigation and prosecution arising from conduct during official performance of their duties, and provides them with privileges additional to those normally provided to other citizens. That's what it actually says.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's why cops police themselves. And that's Chief Williams referred the killing that happened under his watch outside of the department for investigation, and people, because there's no other profession when there's a shooting, the police investigate themselves, which is why they don't get punished, which is why they don't get prosecuted. So that's what needs to change. And so, those of us, so we think, many of us think that Chief Williams is doing all that he can within the parameters of his job. So, yeah, but we talked about the police officer's Bill of Rights and all that. So I just wanted to go look and see what it said. Because basically you aren't, and there's other jobs, firefighters, search and rescue. If you're a search and rescue person, you need to have some sort of insurance or something. There's jobs that are different than run-of-the-mill. There's jobs that do have some risk, and you need to have protection for people in those jobs. But with the police, it means they have no accountability. And so, yeah. So that is some of what's going on in Vallejo. So
Right. Okay.
yes, keep at it, Chief Williams. I think he's a real nice guy. And people are like, I was listening to the they wouldn't allow the Vallejo paper, and so I was listening to what the union head was saying. The current head of the union was fired. You know how hard it is to fire a cop? but they actually did manage to fire a cop. Like, yeah, I mean, we've just been talking about how hard it is to fire a cop, and he's still the head of the union. So yeah, not what you'd call. Okay, so we have some okay, so there's some rest in pieces today, which I'm gonna pull up for a minute. So, but okay, so my friend PF, Pope Francis, has been touring. He went to Canada with the purpose of apologizing to Indigenous communities for the residential facilities that we've talked about a lot. You know, they are called residential schools, but they were not schools. They were holding pen. They were facilities. They were, you know, they were over 100 years, Indigenous children were taken from their families and put in these programs. And so where there was frequent you know, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, and what's considered cultural abuse. They weren't allowed to speak their own language. They were punished for that. They were not allowed to practice their own traditions. So you just have traumatized communities, and with something like that, it does. I mean, here's an entire family. You have families and you have people that are missing from the family. So that's not just the parents, that's the grandparents, that's the aunts and uncles. So I watched the ceremony, some of the ceremonies, and it was going on for a while. I watched one of them, and the Pope came, you know, he flat out said that it was wrong, and he apologized. He talked about the cultural damage that there was, and that you know, so we talked about that, and yeah, and so it's getting mixed responses. I mean, there's people, and you know, he did you know, I mean, I think what needs to happen with an apology, I mean, he took responsibility, and his language took responsibility. What he didn't do, and which people are concerned about, is talk. It was like he said, he didn't talk about the responsibility of the church. He didn't talk about the system of the church. And he talked about the cultural violation and abuse, but people want him to condemn some sort of church pronouncement sort of thing, or I forget what it's called, where they flat out stated their intention to wipe out Indigenous culture. So it was a goal, it was a plan. It's not like this was something that I mean, it's not like you could say that there are things that happen, there's cultural violations that happen because of ignorance, which is all true, but they planned it. They knew what they were doing, I guess. And so that even makes it, I mean, to me, that just makes it worse, a lot worse. I mean, that this wasn't something people were doing just, there's cultural reasons, like not even just out of societal racism, that they had a mission to do this. It was conscious. So people want him to bring that up and to talk about, and he said that what he was doing was the first step. So, okay, as I said, I mean, in a way where, I don't know, probably the similarities in a way to Chief Williams. You have somebody that comes into a very damaged system with a lot of traumatized people, and they're doing their best with it. So people gave one of the tribes gave the Pope one of the headdresses things that he wore, and that's something that tribes do. I mean, it is a sign of honor. And however, there are many tribes, and so there were other people, it's being criticized, and there's people that thought it was a good idea because this is not an issue where everybody feels the same way. There is vast diversity within the indigenous communities. So, I mean, he's an old man, he's not in good health, he was in a wheelchair for some of it, but I mean, he visited the graves, and so of some of the children. So and he met lots of people, and so I think he models what you should try to do when you're apologizing, when you're trying to make things right. I mean, don't shy away from what happened. Don't, going right to the graves. So, okay, my notes are all fucked up here. So, okay, so we'll keep following this and seeing what happens next. So, coming from me, I'm like, okay, PF, I like you. I like you, PF. I think you're, okay, so this is something I was reading about that I thought was pretty interesting, and it was about milk and whether prehistoric people drank milk, because I don't remember the last time I drank a glass of milk. I'm like, ew. I mean, I don't even think. Lamont, hey sweetie, how are you? Message me if you want to come on the show. So yeah, and the reason is humans are unusual, because for most mammals, babies drink milk and then they don't drink it anymore. And hey, Lamont, thank you so much for coming on. You want me to send you a link? And so we're unusual. Humans do continue to drink milk, some of us, but there's an enzyme that breaks down milk sugars, and most people don't have it. So that's why a lot of people just like, get stomach aches from
You
drinking
mean like
milk.
lactose intolerant?
Yeah, but that's not, yeah, but how do you put it? Lactose intolerant, that's not even, most people are lactose intolerant. It's kind of like, that's the norm. That's not something unusual because our bodies aren't meant to be drinking milk for the most part. So yeah, I mean, to be drinking just milk. I guess like, with other stuff, like, like you can have cheese or yogurt or something, like if it's, I don't know, somehow or other, like once it's just raw, just plain old milk, most people, once they're adults, once they've stopped growing, really don't need to drink milk and like get real uncomfortable with it. But so was research projects going on about whether people in like medieval times and prehistoric times and all that, whether they drank milk. Because, it's funny because I think now, and, now we're so much more conscious. I mean, now we have so many more choices in the modern era about what to eat and all that, but people. So people, they were trying to figure out what prehistoric people did they drink milk as adults, and they were trying to figure out, and something like 3/4 of adults are not able to just digest milk. We don't have the lactase and enzyme that breaks it down. So yeah, so what they wanted, they determined that people did drink milk back there. But what I thought was really interesting was how they figured that out. And what they do is they take pottery, they look at like old shards of pottery, because you're like, well, how the fuck do you know that? They look at old shards of pottery and find like traces of milk in the pottery, and that's how they know that people drank milk. I mean, that's just wild. And they also analyze bone fragments and stuff like that from people. But yeah, so that's how they do it. So this was a big project. There's somebody who's, there's like a milk research scientist and stuff like that. So
Well, I would kind of think they would have had to drink milk. I don't think they drink it like people drink it now, but I believe they drink milk.
That's kind of what.
Use it for food and stuff too. You never know.
Well, yeah, they were trying to figure out if our bodies have like changed, like whether we're sort of like, because we adapt and we change, like whether it's become harder for us to drink milk because we don't have to so much. And so what they came up with, what they think that people then people still had a hard time digesting milk, but they drank it anyway because they just didn't really have that many choices. And so somehow or other they were looking at milk consumption during the plague, and like, yeah, and that people that drank milk were more likely to survive whether they were more or less likely to survive the plague. So yeah, pretty wild. So okay, so speaking of bones and all of that and research, okay, there was a in France there was a medical Okay. There's been research. It's amazing how you can find this stuff, because recently a cache or cache, or however, I never remember how you're supposed to pronounce that, of medical experiments and bones were found in a French university, in a French medical school, and they were from Holocaust victims, because they were from people that were Jews that were sent there to be experimented on. And so it was claimed that there were no more of them, but somehow somebody could go back and find them. And so I guess like in these old buildings and old medical schools, you can get stuff just like put away. So there was like all these preserved body parts and all of that. So hopefully, I mean, I think what you're supposed to do in cases like that is give them a funeral or something. I mean, this was people that were basically tortured and murdered. And so you need to try and make that right. But basically there was a medical student, people were saying like, oh no, we don't have any of that stuff around anymore. And this guy was like, didn't believe it. So we looked and found it. And okay, we've talked a lot about Bruce's Beach, which was the resort owned by near Los Angeles that was a vacation resort for Black people that was taken away by eminent domain. And it was, see, we've talked about this a lot. There was like a whole ceremony with Gavin Newsom there and all that, but now the family has the actual deeds to it. And they have, because I've just been wondering like, okay, I mean, you know, if somebody, it takes money to run a place like that, like, okay, and there's taxes, like, okay, if somebody just hands you a big piece of property like that, if you need cash to maintain it, you need ready money to run a place like that in order to get it to make a profit for you. And so there's been, so, you know, like they're considering selling it, but the appraisal was way lower than what they think it should get. And after they kind of want to keep their family's dream going and, well, reclaim it, I guess. I mean, they want to, so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they want, what they do. And you know, I think it would be awesome if they just like turn it back to like, hey, you know, vacation place for Black people, you know. So
that'll work.
Yes. So okay, what did you think of Nope?
I would give it on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 5.
Okay. Yeah. You know, the problem I found myself like not really being able to picture it that I mean, it's just, I feel like, okay, I mean, Get Out was just great. Get Out was just so great, like psychologically, the plot, and Us was, it was so cool visually. That was a big piece of it. The tethers and the fun house and the way he used color and all of that. So it was really great, enjoyable to look at. It was, I mean, it was really artistic. So I didn't feel that Nope really was any of that. I mean, there was cool.
Was Nope supposed to be a horror film? Was it supposed to be? I gotta look it up. I don't know if that was considered a horror film or not.
I don't think so.
I hope it wasn't.
Well, what really, like, how would you define, like, what really makes a film a horror film?
Well, I don't want to say the movie, of course. I don't want to tell the movie, but certain scenes that were on there, I could see where they tried to make it a horror movie.
Yeah.
On certain scenes, but then I kind of got, I don't know what you, I don't know. I couldn't really gauge what kind of movie this would be considered to me.
Yeah, and just the big piece that was missing for me is the characters. I mean, it started off where you could see like, okay, it seemed like there was really going to be something going on with the family dynamic, but it just kind of fizzled. It wasn't like these people had a relationship with each other at all.
Right. And it kind of seemed to me, I will say this, it kind of seemed like a lot of the people just got thrown in.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the way I said, like, people will be like, okay, I don't know why this person's here, but they're here. So I guess they're here. So they're here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's just this idea, okay, that in a piece of, I mean, in a film, a play, an opera, the idea is that everything matters. Everything there has to have a purpose. Like if you're a set, if you're a set designer, a lamp has to have a purpose. And that's why, like, I don't like simulcasts of operas, because they zoom in on small little parts of it, and you're supposed to be looking at the whole thing. So like with the characters in Nope, you're just wondering, like, why is this person here? Why do they matter? And I thought, so like when the sis, and it's funny because I think that I think the movie would have been a lot more interesting if they hadn't killed off if they hadn't killed off I think the movie would have been a lot more interesting if it was about the dad, if it was about what they actually did.
Right. See, I'm looking up right now. They put it down as horror, mystery, and thriller sci-fi. I don't even understand where the horror is. I don't get it. Maybe if they said thriller, maybe mysteries. I don't know, but the horror part, I didn't get that. So.
No, I mean, and then like when the sister showed up, I was thinking like, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be like a family drama with the sisters showing up, but they never really said it didn't even really make sense. Like, well, what was she doing? Like, was she part of the business, or what was her deal?
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. The whole thing was just.
Yeah, she
like
baked.
I said, I gave it a 5. It was average. I mean.
Yeah.
I could, I'll just put it to you this way. I don't think I would see it again.
Oh, no. No, I have no intention of seeing it again.
When you were talking about Clerks, I was kind of wishing, hey, I would have rather watched Clerks again. They could have put on Clerks 1 or 2. I would have watched that again.
Oh, I've watched those so many times. I
could watch those. I could watch those a lot though. Those are good.
Yeah. Well, you gotta watch the Rewound one that I sent you.
You're talking about Jay and Silent Bob, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about Clerks.
Well, I can watch. I can
watch Jay and Silent Bob too. I can watch them both.
I can watch them all. Yeah. I've watched.
It's something about having all of them together from Clerks.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole crew together. It's just funny.
Yeah. Well, you should watch the Jay and Silent Bob Rewind or whatever, because I'm sure some of the characters from there, like Kevin Smith's daughter is in it. She'll probably be in Clerks 3 as like an because in the how like a lot of the character like even the Clerks characters from the people that were in the second in Clerks 2 are in the same people are all in Jay and Silent Bob Reloaded. But I have to, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Clerks 3. I mean, it's funny because
But okay, so wait, I thought there was already a Clerks 3. I thought this would be 4. So there's only 3. This will be the third one.
The third one.
So the first one was the one that was kind of like in black and white, the older school one.
Yeah.
And they had a second one that was with what's her name in it, right?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. So that was the second one. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Where
Where
I
they
thought there
dance.
was already 3.
Where they dance to the Jackson 5.
Yes, on the roof. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just love that. I mean, yeah, because I had this day where I'd gotten called in to work or something, and I kept, I just remember this day where I kept saying, like, at work, like, I'm not even supposed to be here today, and nobody understood it. And I was thinking, like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Where have you been? So, I mean, it's interesting because, like, with Jordan Peele, I mean, one of the reasons I was interested in seeing this film is because he is so talented, and God, I wish he'd made Lovecraft Country is like a film. I mean, he was the producer of Lovecraft Country, and so that doesn't mean he wasn't really the producer's not the creator, or with something like that show, there was so many people involved in it. So it's not like, I don't think that, like, Jordan Peele could just go do the film version of it. But Lovecraft Country was a lot like a film. And just everything was, it was just beautifully shot. I mean, I would have loved to have seen it on a big screen. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely, what it did, I mean, it had the same thing that Get Out had. It's like, if you mix up horror and reality, and you show real horror. So
very true, very true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, Kevin Smith just calls himself the guy. He said something like, yeah, I'm the guy where the camera doesn't move. I mean, he does not, he doesn't do anything artistic. He doesn't really change what he does. So that's kind of that much. And I mean, so, like, with Jordan Peele, I mean, I think it's great that he tries to do different things, but it's funny because I was just like, a film like Nope, I mean, that is incredibly expensive to do a film like that. So it's interesting when you see somebody like him that, like, okay, he had success, so now he can get a whole lot more money to do his films. And it did not seem to do much good. Like, the difference, like, one of the differences between Clerks 1 and Clerks 2, I mean, the fact that he could afford to have the Jackson 5 in his film. So
yeah, but Clerks is a cult following, man. I mean,
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I think just about anybody would let them use any of their music or anything that they have on a Clerks.
Oh no. I don't believe it.
I think they would. The Clerks is badass.
I don't think whomever licenses the Jackson 5 cares.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they care. I think
don't think they care whether it's Clerks. I think they want their money.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They paid for it. They definitely paid for it, because I watch the commentary, and they talk about that. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't think there will be much of a fight to let them use it, though. Clerks is a pretty good movie to. If it was to use anything from me, I'd definitely let them use it in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, but you're not the Jackson 5. I mean,
I know I'm not the Jackson 5, but still, Clerks is a pretty I don't know, man. That's a pretty good movie.
You know, they paid.
So you're telling me you really honestly think they paid millions to use the Jackson 5?
I don't know if it was millions, but I know they pay. I know they paid for it. He talked about. I mean, he talked about it in the commentary.
Yeah, I don't. I'd be surprised if he had to pay a lot
in
to
the
use it.
commentary, Roselle.
No, I
don't know
get
why
that, but I'm just not seeing him paying millions to use that.
Well, I don't know if I don't think he paid million. I mean, I have no idea what he paid, but he paid. It's
And so you're telling me the actual producer said he paid to have that in the show, in the movie?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see him paying a lot though. I'd have to see that. I'd like to see how much he paid. I'm curious.
Well, go back and watch. I mean, go back and watch the director's cut or something. Not the watch it. See if you. I'm trying to remember because I had it on DVD and I'd watch it with commentary. So, yeah. Okay, I'm about to. You want to take a break?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That cooler, reminiscing things I used to do, still do. I don't miss them, 'cause I'm still tapped into the same dumb shit. Can't really get out. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I really talking about? Where?
I remember being fresh in the face, a couple classes cut in school so I could smoke me an eighth and hit the stairway and duck out with my friends and my folks so we can go and see what's up, who gets dumped under smoke, who gets smarter, who can rap and who can pull up a chick, who can get us a bit of beer because I needs me a sip. Let's take a trip down to the liquor store, it's time to go ship. I got a couple freaks, they geeky but they all on the tip. Yeah, and I'm loving the types, they kinda come out shy, but when it's late night, they getting hyped. I want a side bet, I mean it's time to jet. I've done it many times before, trust me, I'm just a vet. No sweat, my man, he goes and peeps the signal. He grabs the keys to the car, he knows it's time to wiggle. You know them jingle of them keys, it's the freedom of the road. Let's get out of here and go get smoke and get ghost, yeah.
It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, it's my right, yeah, if only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing today. It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, it's my right, yeah, if only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing today. Only 10, I'm hyped up. Strick said we finna blaze. Only 11, gonna try me some gay. I grew up young, at 12, I was getting laid. I said this was life about. We was at the theater, my chick, she was 15. First time to get brain. Finally found a way to escape where it was okay. From my vices came my pain. To this day it's still the same. I'm reminiscing today. And it all goes too fast, it isn't just a phrase. When you gambling with your life, them dice will get you to change. I'm focused on my mind and my business, I don't listen to lanes. The team will never win unless the vision the same. I seen a bad little dame, I said, hey, I hopped back on time, fuck you like the industry, babe. I got the confirmation from that smile on her face. Deja vu, I'm reminiscing from days. Mr. Juice, it's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, it's my right, yeah, if only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing today. It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, it's my right, yeah, if only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing today.
Yeah, and we clean moving off. All Rex and Mr. Juice done hit you with the sauce to get you lifted. So now that you shifted into your front position and ready to take play, kick on back and I bid you well and say, have a good night.
Yeah. Huh? It's a deep shit, nigga. Yeah.
Last time I checked Sativa was the motherfucker. Damn. Every bitch I serve say a nigga bring the thunder. Boom. Fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, I'm a cold nigga. Fuck 'em. Went from a fluffy to a fucking swole nigga. Hey, all about the bags, where the cash at? Dwelling in my past, I was the one they used to laugh at. Told the bitch I'm ballin' now, okay. Where that ass at? For years I've been a buzzing on this mic. Fuck your ass, man. Fuck it. Told you niggas I was in it for the long haul. Never been a hater, but hating got me saying fuck y'all. Gang of motherfuckers, they been waiting on my downfall. The crown I wear stay tilting, but I would not let that bitch fall. I be gassing rear posse, ski skirting on them. Tear the booty down, put a hurting on them. Say a prayer for my haters, God be working on them. Do it. Plugged on this music shit, serve them what they want. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about him, yeah. Real nigga fly shit, iceberg drippin'. Thinking I'ma stop, motherfucker, you trippin'. Run up on me, nigga, give you blues like you're crippin'. 12 pots with dope in them on the stove in the kitchen. Mama say your palms itching, and that mean the money coming. I've been on my own forever, nigga, I ain't asked for nothing. I've been blowing draw forever, nigga, only Cali puffin'. I've been pushing to the metal, nigga, trying to get to something. Getting right past the bullshit, straight to the cheddar. Got a bitch they call Netta, she a super freaking leather. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, swear it ain't nobody better. I was brought up by the realest, will I trust a nigga? Never. I was born a fucking winner since was in my mama womb. Wanna test me, nigga, fuck it, we can go there if you choose. If we go there, facts my nigga, I'ma do the fucking fool. I'm the motherfucking nigga, I don't do the shit to lose. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about him. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, ask about me. I'm the nigga, I'm the nigga, yeah. I'm the nigga, ask about him, yeah.
And we are back.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Okay, yeah, so Clerks, and you know, I love Clerks, I love Chasing Amy, I love Mallrats, I love the whole fucking thing, man. Yeah. See, and not enough people have seen it to get the point across because, you know, I mean, I do all this history stuff, I love opera, but I love the View-Askew universe, whatever. So yeah, I'll be real pleased when Clerks 3 comes out. So yeah, we got to go.
I'm honestly shocked that you watched Clerks. That's surprising.
I know.
I think you're a Clerk person.
I know. I'm full of surprises. But yeah, I watch them on repeat.
I used to always think kind of Clerks was more of an East Coast type of thing. You know, like you really wouldn't watch it. I didn't know too many people who knew about Clerks over here. To be honest with you.
Sure they do. It says, I mean,
if you watch the first one, a lot of stuff seemed more like, you know, the way they talked. They were from the East Coast. You could just tell it was an East Coast thing. It didn't really seem like some people over here would like it. Like you'd be a certain type of person to kind of like it if you're from here. I don't think
it has to do with West Coast, East Coast. I mean, I just think it's generational and cultural.
Somewhat. I see the difference in geography, in the way it was, because like playing hockey on the roof. That's, come on now, hockey on the roof. That kind of was like East Coast thing. That was kind of funny.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
you know, just the way some of them looked, the way they dressed, you could tell they were at that time, they were from the East Coast. You could just tell. I could tell.
That's how everybody dressed back then.
No way, not over here.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. I've never seen that down here. Now, I knew we had punk rockers, but I mean, they had some real deal punk rockers down there. That dude that one part when Jay and Silent Bob were out there and the punk rocker dude played some song you couldn't even understand, but you could tell he was like from Europe or something.
That's how
that part, right?
a lot of people I knew dressed like that. Dress.
I didn't see too much of that down here.
Okay.
That was kind of trippy. And then the long trench coat thing.
I knew tons of people that dressed like that.
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh man, I never seen people like that.
Okay. It's a big world.
I guess, man. I ain't never seen that before until I saw the movie.
Because yeah, I mean, I watched it with people. Yeah, I mean, it's a. But yeah, I just love them.
Oh yeah, it was good. Oh, don't get me wrong, it was a good movie. Now,
yeah,
it was just different. It was a little, to me, it was like it was different.
I don't think it. You know, I mean it. I mean, it has it's regional for, you know. I mean, if you're from Jersey, I mean, you know, you're gonna feel like.
See, there you go. You even brought out it was Jersey. That's exactly like
yeah.
a Jersey type feel to it.
Yeah, it does, but a whole lot of it is just pretty common. Oh my god, the whole thing. Oh my god, the video store. Oh my god, so fucking funny, man. Yep. Yeah. I mean, Randall talks almost the entire. There's like he talks like non-stop. Oh, and their whole thing about Star Wars.
Yeah, that was kind of funny to me too. That's one thing that I know. Yeah, that was everywhere. Everybody, especially when you get around people that are into Star Wars, that was like a thing back then. I remember that.
Yeah, the Star Wars, the Scoochie boots. And I mean, just their whole attitude about, you know, that the lady that would they're talking about the lady that goes through like digging through all the milks, like trying to find the one with the speaking of milk, with the oldest expiration date. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing I was looking for earlier. So apparently conducting is pretty dangerous, conducting an orchestra. So a conductor dropped dead at the podium while he was at the National Theater, the Bavarian State Opera's main venue. He was conducting Richard Strauss. But here's the part. In 1911, the Austrian conductor Felix Motti collapsed at age 56 during his 100th performance of Wagner's Tristan und Isolde. Wagner's operas, I mean, I talked about it before. This is just why, I mean, you know, it's kind of noticeable because his operas are really, really long. And so, I don't know, man, if you're not feeling well, you might, and then in 1968, a different conductor died age 60 at the same podium during a performance of the same work. So that just got me thinking, since Wagner's operas are so fucking long, people really need to make sure that they're healthy before conducting or singing in one, because it is strenuous as hell. Okay, so there's a movie we started to talk about this the other night. There's a movie coming out called Till. Did we see the preview? I think I saw the preview on my computer. We didn't see it, did we?
What's it called? Till? About
Emmett Till, yeah.
I don't remember us seeing a preview.
No, so it wasn't when we were at the movie. I saw it on my computer that day. I saw the I'd seen some article about it, but I think there might have been a preview for it at that film we were at too. But so anyway, I'm just kind of, I don't know. Would you go see it?
Yeah, I'd probably go see it. Actually, I'm trying to see right now. Hold on here. Let me see if it. Oh, yeah. Well, no. Wait a minute. See, I don't know. This was in 2020. I guess it was there was a trailer for it in 2020.
No, just look up Till.
Okay, let me try.
It's just called Till.
Till movie trailer. Let's see.
No, well, yeah, but
Yep, it's the same one. Yeah, I guess they do.
yeah, it's coming out in a month or two.
You want to play the? Do you want to play it?
The trailer?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can play the trailer. Hold on here. Let me get it there first. Hold on here. Okay, hold on. We got to add right now. Hold on. I want to make sure it'll play. All right. Okay, here we go. Hold on here. So let me put it on so we can check out this trailer.
This was my boy, Emmett Till. I got a letter today from Auntie Lizzie. She said Bo's been working the fields. I can't imagine. Oh, he just doesn't understand how different things are in Mississippi. Are you listening?
Yes.
Be small down there.
Like this?
Emmett never thought anything would happen to him.
Meet the mummy, Simmy!
Ow! He just wanted to go on vacation and have fun with his cousins. But if my son could just get his feet back onto the Chicago soil, he'd be one happy kid. I don't know why I said that.
I want to talk to you about that boy.
They've come for you. It's hard to describe what a mother knows. The first thing I noticed when I became a mother was that my hands were busy all the time. My hand knew him with my eyes closed, just like I know his laughter in a crowded room. It's the same thing when you know all of someone. This was my boy, Emmett Till.
The body of Emmett Lewis Till has been found dead.
Can I at least just fix him up a bit?
No, they have to see it for themselves.
You tell me, Mamie, how is risking your life gonna help him?
Those pictures of your son change people's lives.
I can't look, Mamie. We have to. The lynching of my son has shown me that what happens to any of us, anywhere in the world, had better be the business of us all.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah,
That is deep.
it is. It is. Yeah.
That's gonna be, man. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna see it. I don't think they played that during Nope.
No, they
I
didn't.
don't remember seeing that. Yeah, I would have remembered that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just seen the preview for the first time that day. Yeah. Yeah. It said, I don't know, part of, like, one of the things I first saw was like, okay, Oscar bait, like whether the lady that plays Mamie Till is going to get an Oscar. So I don't know, man. It's just this, I don't know.
Didn't you say a couple of weeks ago that a bunch of people went to go, or was that you that said they went to where the lady that accused him?
Yeah, I was talking about that on the show.
Yeah, they went to her. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, they went and tried to. Yeah.
I know she was spooked.
Well, she wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows where she is. They went to a place where they thought she was. They probably didn't think she was there. They probably knew better, but it got attention. But it's just yeah, I mean, they were one of the directors talking about like how do you even like making the film would be so traumatic. I mean, like, how do you decide how much to show? And, I mean, that actor's a child. What are you going to have that child actor do and depict? And, wow, I mean, in order to get like, what are they going to, I mean, at least, I mean, the pictures we've seen of Emmett Till are black and white. And yeah. So I don't know. The lady and then the director is black, but she's Nigerian American. She's not African American. So I don't know. I mean, there will be lots and lots of discussion and issues and opinions. I just feel like for stuff like that, for me, I mean, obviously I've read about it. I've watched documentaries. I've watched interviews with Mamie Till and with Emmett Till's uncle and his cousins and people that were there. So I don't want to go see the movie. I mean, I just feel like I know about it. I know about it, and just, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, like calling a real life, a reality horror show, or yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there's people, I was just looking at it and I feel like, okay, maybe people will see it and understand. Maybe it will give people a little bit of understanding of why it was so important to pass the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. Anti-lynching legislation was first proposed in 1900. So I don't know. I mean, there's people that need film. There's people that need films that need to, in order to understand, in order to empathize and care. So yeah, but I don't think I'll see it. You'll have to see it and tell me about it.
Most definitely. I'm definitely going to go see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like, I mean, sort of the way, like, I didn't want to see like whatever was called 20 years. I mean, whatever the 19 years a slave, 20, what was that called?
Ooh, I think it was 12 Years Slave. Right?
12 Years a Slave.
Man, that was crazy too.
Yeah. I feel like I read about stuff enough about things that that I fulfill my responsibility as a person, of knowing about things. So I don't want to go see, I don't want to go see them acted out. I mean, it's just upsetting. But I don't know. I mean, it's people want, I mean, I wonder how, I mean, I'm sure with stuff like this, I mean, there's always disagreement. I'm sure that there's some family members that approve and some that don't. I mean, there's an Emmett Till Family Foundation. They have an app for if you go because we were talking about this last week about how Emmett Till's family home in Chicago was placed on the historical register, and now if you go to Money, Mississippi, where it happened, there's placards and stuff, but there's an app which I downloaded that shows you around the town and the area and where things happened. Yeah, so the Emmett Till Foundation is trying to hold Carolyn Bryant accountable. So, you know, trying to like do something or other, you know, like that's you know, you look at things like Pope Francis and all of that. I mean, it's never too late to hold people accountable, to hold someone accountable. Never too late. Yeah, so PF, yeah, he said that he said this is a trip of penance. Yeah, so Thomas Sankara was the president, was a former president of Burkina Faso, who was a real freedom fighter. He had opened schools. He just was loved. He was doing a lot for people. And he was assassinated by Blaise Compaoré, who was a friend who then went ahead and then became president. So Blaise Compaoré was has been in exile, but he was actually put on trial. He was sentenced in absentia. He was sentenced to life in prison, but he's not in the country, so nothing can happen. But he apologized to the family. But you know, I mean, if he was really sorry, he'd come back, and if he was really sorry, he'd come back and take his punishment. So yeah, some apologies are bullshit. On the topic of accountability, Viktor Orban, the president of Hungary, who we've talked about a fair bit, is a fascist, a racist, a anti-Semite, a homophobe, just about everything. And get away from that, Loeb. And so a member of his inner circle has resigned after the Hungarian prime minister spoke out against becoming a mixed race. So, and the member of the inner circle said that it was Nazi talk. So, you know, people like Orban, I mean, he doesn't even need to hide. He doesn't even need to hide what he's saying anymore. He can just say it. He can just say things like that. And so it has to get that bad before somebody will speak up, basically. So, okay. Come here, Logie. Come here. Come say hello. Okay, so 4 democracy advocates were executed in Myanmar, and one was a rapper that got into politics. So we're going to have to find his music. The Seattle chapter of the Audubon Society. The Audubon Society is like a nature bird play, you know, they're into birds, like a nature society, is dropping Audubon from its name because John Audubon was a enslaved people. So I mean, that's cool. So that's cool. I mean, you know, if you're like, it's not, if you're a society that you have freedom and all of that, you know, like, yeah, you should, like, why should your bird society keep the name of a racist? It just kind of like, I think it demonstrates that that these issues are important, that like, okay, this is not just a nature society, that it matters. Things matter. Okay, and then over on Sunday, a pastor was in Brooklyn, was in the middle of delivering his sermon, and these guys with guns came in and robbed him and his wife of more than $1 million worth of jewelry. And the service was being live streamed, so people saw it. And I forget it was like they were targeted, because this pastor drives around. I mean, he's like your he drives around in a Rolls Royce. He wears like Fendi jacket. I mean, it's like I had one of these people where every single thing they're wearing just screams expensive. So yeah, I mean, you know, it was clearly somebody was targeting him and his wife. So, but you know, I mean, they're caught. So I went to sort of check this guy out, and he's not even just a pastor, he's a bishop, but he became a bishop like 2 years after he was ordained as a minister. And then and a lot of like ministers go through different life stages. You know, he was a businessman, he was incarcerated, he had all these different things happen. But I don't know, I was like, oh my God, you guys, come on, shit, we've been doing pretty good. Come on, guys, you've been doing pretty good so far. Yeah, if you knock over my stuff, you're in big trouble. So yeah, that is pretty fucking, I mean, people busting into a church service is pretty bad. It's pretty, I mean, that's just scary for people, the congregation and all that. But yeah, this was something. So Kiev and Moscow signed a deal to restart grain imports. However, there's still bombing. So I'm not too sure what. Oh, okay. Supposedly a deal has been made to bring Brittany Griner home. Because we've talked about this before. I mean, they couldn't strike a deal until she'd been sentenced. And so she pled guilty and explained that, you know, kind of like what you would think. I mean, this was it was legal. She takes this, you know, it was something she takes for pain. It was something she had for pain in her knee. It is legal in the United States, and that, you know, she forgot she had, but, you know, she talked about how she just, said that she just had always really enjoyed being in Russia, just trying to like get across, I think, her respect for the country. But, you know, she said what you figure that, you know, kind of what we assumed happened, that, you know, people were like, she was being interrogated and trying to use Google Translate on her phone to figure out what was happening. There was no interpreter. She didn't get a lawyer. She was just like taken into a room and signed something, and she wasn't too sure what it was. You know, I mean, the shit that happens to people when they're picked up by authorities in a foreign country. And so, yeah. And, you know, she said she doesn't even use it, that like when she's training or whatever, she doesn't even use the medical marijuana, like when she's in season, like when she's playing, because that could be, because that could be used against her team. But so then I read today that the Biden administration is trading her and another American that's there in Russia for a Russian prisoner. So hopefully she'll come home. They asked her if she had anything to say to her wife, and she said, "Good luck on the bar exam." So I guess she probably didn't. I'm sure she didn't want to say anything too personal in front of the whole world, but I guess I guess Sherelle Griner is just going ahead and taking the bar exam. I mean, that's pretty brave. So yeah, so hopefully Brittany Griner will be home, and it's just horrible. I mean, just so traumatic and scary, and yeah. So that would be good news if it happens. Okay, want to take another break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be back in a little bit, everybody.
Till the wheels fall off, son. Now tell me why I wouldn't wanna get high or have a fine ass bra rubbing hard on my thigh. Yeah, I can't lie, it ain't perfect all the time, but I've traveled so far down the line, man, I can't turn back. It ain't hard to tell. I'm so deep that I'm halfway to hell, so I might as well go ahead and get my money's worth before the day comes that my family gotta count dirt and tell them to rehearse my eulogy. Some people might say I've been living foolishly, but I disagree, I'm just living it up, cause it's so much more fun when you don't give a fuck.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
You wanna have some fun?
How was this podcast?
Well, for 20, you could get a lap dance, but for 100, you could come back with me to the private room.
Oh, I think I like private room. Let's go.
I'm halfway there. And I ain't got nowhere else to go. I'm halfway there. I keep I got a phone collection big enough to fill a store. I got a weed plant taller than a sycamore, and I got more if I need it. And if I get bored, then I delete it, and then I just repeat it. My life is just one big trip, so it's no wonder why I'm falling like this. Can't get a grip. It's almost like I'm not awake, like a bad dream that feels great, so I get high to concentrate. Like, what's up, man? What is it? Okay, I'll take a slow hit, try to erase my blues. I ain't tripping cause I got nothing to lose. Why do I use? Why do I love booze? Because I win even when I lose. I'm halfway to heaven. And I ain't got nowhere else to go. I'm halfway to heaven.
conscious. Hey, 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 yeah. Fuck club, we still turn up. Couple baby mamas in the building, give a fuck. Fresh bottles, time to pour up. You already lost. Check the score, bro. Fuck club, still turn up. Couple baby mamas in the building, give a fuck. Fresh bottles, time to pour up. You already lost. Check the score, bro.
Yeah. Fuck the club, dog. I'd rather count 100,000. Mike Jones, they ain't like me then, but they like me now. I've been turning up too much, had to calm me down. Me and Gutter twinned up, knock him out of bounds. Get a party, don't start till I walk in. And I got them blocks in, nigga ain't no boxing. We done got our bread up, ain't no stopping. Hold on, what the price is? Oh, yo, we copping.
Hey, fuck going to the club, I'd rather cut 100. Niggas doing too much and won't do nothing. Pole on me right now, I'm in a booth clutching. Draco got a rope on it, we gon' clutch him. I'm through struggling, I can't do it no more. Days when I ain't made shit, it still had to pass shit. So every member blick it up now, ain't gotta pass the stage. That weekly pain shit, I'm trying to pass along.
We still turn up. Couple baby mamas in the building, give a fuck. Fresh bottles, time to pour up. You already lost. Check the score, bro. Fuck club, still turn up. Couple baby mamas in the building, give a fuck. Fresh bottles, time to pour up. You already lost. Check the score, bro. Fuck the club, we still turn up. Burn a gun when I roll up. Moving fast on a Cobra. Getting to this money, check the score, bruh. Man, I'm stacking all this vengeance in the Shark Tank. Get it popping in my section, yeah, we start that. Got cookies in my dungeon, yeah, we spark that. Get it lit in my block, yeah, shark shit. Yeah, we got story, hostile, pour them shots. Keep it in the air, that's why we on top. DJ, turn them hits. A bunch back, walked in, man, they thick. Whole squad here. Everybody hold tight. Homie issues, I'm leaving from smoke. Both from the east, but not from Oakland. I'm leaving with me, yes, I'm poking. No ghosting, this 100. Talking 27, yeah, I run it. No front shit, I'm the owner. She all in my face, I probably boned it,
Yeah. And it's Global History Radio. We are back.
Yes, we are. Okay, come on. Let's get this back on. Okay, yeah, so I was just checking to see if there was any more information about it's called the no comp about what happened today with Chief Williams. Now I thought this was the case, but I wanted to check. He has the support of the Fed. There's been one police killing under his watch, a young man named Sean Monterosa, and the cop that did it was fired. Okay, so the family, Sean Monterosa was from San Francisco, and his sisters are part of the Vallejo community. They come to city council meetings here and speak, and are really trying to, with other activists, reform the Vallejo police department. Reform is only one way to put it. There's other ways. And so they support the chief. They said that they've had meetings with him and they think he's a good, so that says a lot, and that he fired them, and that, because some of these people they won't even meet with, and so they were trying. So the Vallejo Times-Herald did an article about it, just trying to explain, like, okay, why weren't they allowed in? And the city council member went there, and she said she tried to get in, and that she heard them saying, oh, Tina Ariel is here, and they wouldn't let her in. So why announce a press conference and not let in the press and city officials? That makes no sense to me. Speaking of cops, I've been reading a memoir by a policewoman, as she said. It's a lady that joined the police force in the 1920s in New York City, and was one of, at the time there was like one other woman on the police force. And I heard about the book see, I was trying to remember, I had it, but in a conversation basically about the role of women in policing abortion. And so, because one of the things, I haven't gotten to it yet, that was one of the things she would do, is bust people for having abortions. However, I don't know. I mean, in those days, I mean, that's a difficult question, because people were really, you know, women's, and that's still, you know, your life is very much at risk otherwise. But so she would, but a lot of what she did was undercover work, and she'd get really involved in it. Like, she would, people lived in boarding houses then, so she would get, you know, like temporary lodging places. So she would get a room there, and like rent a room at a place, and like stay there for weeks, like befriending people that she was trying to get information out of. She was a single mother, her husband died. So, you know, and so she said that women were they were categorized as matrons, not police officers, so they were paid less. And so she started a policewoman's association, and advocated for women officers to be paid what men were paid, and was successful in that. A situation where a police union is a good thing. So yeah, you know, and she was responsible. So, you know, she would keep in touch with people. But I mean, it's just pretty interesting to see how they did stuff back then. And I mean, articles I read were real critical of her, but you know, I mean, a lot of what she did was, the way she talked about people is different than, you know, girls and stuff like that. But a lot of what they did, you know, they would try to find runaways and get them sent home, and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, I don't really know what, let me see. I went through all this stuff, the films, Clerks. Okay, and then tomorrow night is Bewitched.
Yes.
Twitch Talk.
Twitch Talk, people.
Yes, don't miss it. We're going to be watching Mother-in-Law of the Year, and then discussing it on Facebook Live. And yeah, my fucking I wish I kind of fucked up my podium that I have, but I'm using it now, that I got for the projector. And so last night I just left it in the middle of the room with a book on it to make sure that it was secure, and it was. So hopefully we're all good with that. So yeah. I think I'm out of material. I think I'm out of stuff for the moment. So
all right. This is probably a precursor telling us to get ready and get some rest for tomorrow.
I know, huh? Yeah. So the fucking possums come in my house again.
Oh.
You know what part of the problem is now too? The foundation of my house is cracked. And so there's been a permit. My landlady's had a permit in to fix it, which she submitted in March. and still hasn't gotten the permit. And so my back door's always been really hard to open. It's really sticky. And so the other day I was trying, hey, Verlania, the other day I was trying to get it open. I could not get it open. I couldn't get it. It's like I put my knee up and was like bracing it and going like that. I couldn't fucking get it opened. And so I asked, my neighbor works, my neighbor's a big guy that works in construction. Okay. So I asked him to see what he could do with it. He had a hard time, but he got it open. And so, but it's because of the house, it's because of the fucking foundation. It's like switching everything. So he could like see where the door was like coming apart. And it's just kind of freaking me out because, if I need to run from something, I can't, to get through the back, I'm kind of fucked. So I really hope they get it fixed. And yeah, man, motherfucking possum's coming in again. Oh man, fucking crazy. So
I don't know what to tell you on the possum.
So integrity. Okay, Verlania, integrity tomorrow night. I hope you'll be there. Yeah, she's on my Facebook, and then come on the show with us next week. So yeah, okay. It's a big week coming up. Do you got Mutiny Radio this weekend?
Yes.
Cool. I'll be listening.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. So okay, so what time are you going to get there tomorrow?
I'll probably be there between 5:30ish.
Okay, I'll tell her to let me in at 5 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should probably just get there because don't you got to set your stuff up anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well get there. You should try to get there a couple hours early anyway, just to.
That's what I did last time, and I still fucked up with getting my stuff ready in time. But this is not going to be like that. This is going to be smooth. Right. So yes. Okay, I will see you tomorrow night, and everybody else, I'll see you next week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Global History Radio out.
Okay. Bye.